Well, let's see what they can do as they come through. And Tannock washes wide. What's it?
The pass! It's a pass! It's a pass! Armstrong's gone for the pass. V-Energy 250 GT Skyline. Wow! It's a win! It's a win for Armstrong. What a final!
Our goal, you know, we've been doing this 7 years now. I've always been in that top 5 bracket, and it, you know, hey, you don't want to be a bridesmaid all the time in your life. So yeah, this year we've worked really hard. We have good strategies. Hey, it's paying off. We've put in a lot of hard yards into it, and people don't really see it because we do a lot of after-hours stuff on the car and preparation. So it's real cool to be able to come out from Hampton Downs. Yeah, we picked our way through there and took the top spot. It was good.
With another round victory under his belt, Cole Armstrong is locked in as the hot favourite for the 2017 series title. It's still a tough road ahead though, as the top 7 in the points race all have a chance at the final podium of the year. This is round 5, the grand final of the D1NZ D1NZ National Drifting Championship Series from Pukekohe Park Raceway.
Justin Root following through the 01 on the doors, the 04 champion showing the way.
Banger Dan is a future champion in the making.
200 kilometres an hour off the main straight. Falcon hits the brakes.
JT's got some anger in him now.
Two of the top high-powered turbo rockets battling it on Castro Corner.
And all the speed check from Justin Root. Richards is on top of him now. Welcome to Pukekohe Park Raceway. It's the final round of the D1NZ D1NZ Championship Series. Steve Daniel joining myself, Kenny Ruddle, in commentary for the weekend. As always, it's an action-packed show ahead.
That's right, Kenny. Pukekohe is the home of one of the fastest drifting circuits in the world, and this weekend we'll see a new champion crowned as the Drift King. Let's dive straight into it and catch up with the stars competing for this year's title.
Leading the series standings heading into the final round is Cole Armstrong in the V-Energy 250 GT Skyline, ready to tackle the test of speed on the infamous Turn 1 sweeper.
You've definitely got to pick your balls up when you come to this place. It's 200 k's. When you're standing on that wall and a car comes past, you know they are going fast. So for us, we're here. It's a thrill. We don't get to come here often. So when we do, win it or bin it, mate. We're here to put a show on. We're here to take the championship. So we'll be doing everything we can.
Right behind Armstrong in second place is Team ATJ's Tom Marshall, the far north-based driver eager to run in the dry after the weather gods wreaked havoc on the last 2 grand finals here at Pukekohe.
Yeah, well, hopefully it stays dry this weekend. Even though I drive quite well in the wet, but it's always good to see plenty of smoke and speed.
This weekend, Tom is behind the wheel of the Toyota's Galore GT86, keeping a modest mindset heading into the final round of the series.
Yeah, I'm wrapped either way it goes, just to be up the top, 3 or 4 drivers is awesome, it's wicked.
Sitting third in the championship is Team DSR's Dave Steedman. The Nissan S14 driver surprised to be in the mix for the podium after round 4 at Hampton Downs.
I didn't really. I didn't think I'd stay third after Hamptons, but it's been such a mixed bag, the drivers' finishing places has all been mixed up in the last few rounds, so it's been a bit of anyone's game, really, so it's been really interesting to watch the series progress, actually.
In fourth place is the People's Champion Nico Reid, the former Pro Sport Drift King, remembering all the history at the spiritual home of New Zealand drifting.
Yeah, definitely, like Fang and them, they're definitely my heroes, and Kurt Whitaker. Hey, I'd admit it, the last 3 weeks I've been just watching YouTube clips, of them, I'm getting little tips on where they're entering and starting and stuff, but hey, the game's changed these days, we got 265 slicks. Coming down here and firing a car in at 200, 180k, it ain't easy,
Rounding out the top 5 in the series points is another strong showing from Team DSR. Rotary pilot Adam Davies and his 13B powered 180SX keeping a level head for the weekend.
It's always a daunting one to come into Puke, and you know that the entry's fast and it's got a lot of bumps in that. But hey, you just got to take it as it comes, and if you just got to ease your way into it. If you go too hard, you end up in the wall, and that's your weekend done. So.
Time to go over our competition elements, our judging lineup for the grand final at Pukekohe.
35 points dished out by D1NZ veteran Brendan Dunker, looking over line, 14 years experience behind the wheel.
Australian Dan Mackey, based out of Sydney, will be scoring angle, 15 years in the sport, a pro drifting judge since 2013.
As always, Kyle Jackways will be keeping an eye on style, the former BMX competitor and D1NZ veteran with 14 years in the driver's seat, a total score of 100 for each qualifying pass.
Well, taking us for a tour around the revered Pukekohe Park Raceway is none other than two-time New Zealand drift champion, banger Dan Woolhouse in the Century Batteries VF V8 Holden Commodore.
It's a fast lap around here at over 200 kilometres an hour, a wide outside line to start the course through the sweeper.
Important points up for grabs in the first transition. Both the front and the rear of the car need to hit the section coming off turn 1.
From here, it's a throttle burst through to the next inside apex, cutting across the ripple strip through the S's.
It's a left-right inside combo, still carrying that momentum from the start of the course. Full throttle to an outside clip on the left-hand side where the rear of the car needs to be.
One final inside clip to finish, again slicing across the ripple strip with the front of the car. It's a full power exit to a wide outer line to finish the course.
Time to check out our penalties for the weekend. One wheel off track will dock you points during the run. Two wheels off track is a 0 score. Straight line and spins will also score a 0. Corrections throughout the run will result in a points deduction.
Our battle criteria for the weekend will see the lead car set or better their qualifying performance. The chase car has to emulate and use the lead car as a mobile clipping point throughout the course.
The chase car's job is to keep as close as possible. They must approach the rear quarter position of the lead car before moving forward up to the A-pillar.
Well, time now to check out highlights from practice and qualifying thanks to Century Batteries, and it has been a wild weekend for a number of drivers here at Pukekohe.
A huge moment for Shane Allen in the Rattler Mount Shop Ford Mustang. Huge contact with the wall with big damage to the left-hand side of the car. Shane Allen walking away unscathed.
It was a tough day for Bex Bennett in the Vehicle Imports Direct R32 Skyline, and a shocker weekend for Australian Matty Hill in the Formats Performance S15. Both drivers knocked out early in qualifying.
Strong results for Team DSR, Adam Davies in the Mimico Ryco 24/7 180SX qualifying in 10th place. It was a tough session for teammate Dave Steadman in the Mimico Nissan S14. Damage after contact with the tyre barriers would keep the DSR crew busy in pit lane.
It was all hands on deck to get the car repaired. Dave Steedman eventually getting back in the car and qualifying in 9th place.
Qualifying in 8th place was Tom Marshall in the 2JZ powered Toyota's Galore GT86. Another handful of points in the bag for the championship.
Troy Jenkins had a strong show on his home track, the Brian Roberts towing Nissan S15, grabbing 7th place.
The Nissan GTR of Darren Kelly setting fast runs all weekend, 6th place for the RB30 Turbo.
Another big effort from pit lane to see Ben Wilkinson out on track. This photo was taken on day 1 during practice thanks to velocitynews.co.nz. A big crash on the turn 1 sweeper would almost end the weekend for Wilkinson, but with help from the Drift family in pit lane, the Pack and Save Botany Downs S15 would be back on track. Ben Wilkinson grabbing 5th place in qualifying.
Coming home in 4th was Danon Templeman in the Pace Pools E36 BMW, followed up by Nico Reed in the Evergreen Tyres S15, taking 3rd place.
It was a turbo versus V8 affair for the top spot. Colt Armstrong had his sights set on that championship trophy. A strong run, earning the V-Energy 250 GT Skyline with 2nd place.
Well, the man to beat in qualifying, though, was Dan Woolhouse in the Century Batteries Holden Commodore, the supercharged V8 grabbing pole position for the grand final. Just half a point ahead of Armstrong, a 90.5 pass, earning him top spot.
I normally try and bank a safe one, and it ended up pulling off better than what I thought. So, yeah, it was a good position to be in after all the cars had done their first pass, and watched through all the rest of the runs, still sitting in the top position. So just threw at everything on that last one, but made a couple mistakes. So yeah, always pushing 110%, but bring on the battles.
So Fanger Dan tops qualifying ahead of Cole Armstrong and Nico Reed, all of our championship contenders in the mix for the top 10, the title race heating up for the battles.
Century Batteries powering qualifying for the Demon Energy D1NZ.
Time for the highlights of the top 24 and of course the top 8 drivers in qualifying automatically through to the main event. The last 8 spots in the 16 up for grabs in the 24.
Well, it was fast and wild, straight off the line with Joel Patterson monstering Dylan Woolhouse, the Link ECU RX-7 pushing wide and opening the door for a fast run from the Vehicle Inputs Direct R32 Skyline. Patterson through to the top 16.
Shane Allen straight back on the horse after his crash during practice, stepping into the mount shop Ford Falcon. Bruce Tannock leading a strong lap in the Achilles Radial S13. Shane Allen, though, spinning out at the S's.
It was a tough battle for Allen going OMT, only to lose out again at the S's. The Rattler Falcon backing it into the tyre wall.
Former Pro Sport champion Chad McKenzie made a return to Pukekohe in the Privateer S14, however not able to fend off a great drive from Jaron Olafkrona, the parts trader S14 grabbing the win.
Jody Verhulst and Jerry Zhu battling for a place in the top 16. Jerry Zhu pushing wide, nearly scoring himself a 0. It was a tough day though for Jody Verhulst, struggling with technical gremlins in the car. Jerry Zhu and the NOB Building Supplies S15 grabbing victory.
Former Drift South champ Joel Counter in the Achilles Radial S14 getting a taste of the Pukekohe sweeper. Adam Davies keeping it clean and consistent in the chase run to take victory through to the top 16.
A wild clash for Drew Donovan and Stu Baker, both drivers pushing hard. The Link ECU S13 falling off the track during the transition. Fiberglass galore as Drew Donovan kept a strong lead run to take the win in the Milwaukee Tools S15.
Brad Smith and Joe Marshall battling for the final spot in the top 16. Marshall in a borrowed car, fending off the BSR 350Z. A win for the Martin Davies Frankenstein's S13.
And that is how the top 16 lines up here for the grand final at Pukekohe. Stick around after the break, more action from round 5 of the Demon Energy D1NZ National Drifting Championship Series. A warm welcome to round 5 of the Demon Energy D1NZ National Drifting Championship. We're here, it's Pukekohe, it's the grand final, and it is time for the pit walk. You've said you've had better weekends. We've seen you go off a couple of times.
Yeah, the car's still not 100%. We've had some whoopsies this weekend and some failures, so it's good. Drew's still back in the running, so yeah, fingers crossed.
At the end of the day, there's 2, so there's twice as much chance of us getting on the podium. That's the aim for today, and it's a shame Jody's out, but I'll be going hard for Team D1NZ and for all the fans out there.
Team ATJ or Team Cole?
I think they both deserve to win a championship, and it's going to be pretty tough, I've always said, back in the day when me and Gaz were driving, if you're going to win a championship, you've got to take on whoever comes up in front of you on that final day as well. So,
how are you enjoying the car?
Well, the plan is to build one of these, so, sell the car and get to drive one at the final round is good, it gets me excited for what I'm going to build. Struggling a bit with diff ratios, but apart from that, it's good. It's a cool car.
Great crowd as always, Pukekohe.
Yeah, you can see them now. I think the pits are just opened up and everyone's fluctuating in. It's awesome, mate, that we have such a good following here for the New Zealand drifting scene. It's awesome, mate.
The second you get back into the pits here, what happened?
Oh, it was incredible. We had pretty much every driver in the field coming up to us. All the D1 crew, sponsors, everyone was just coming to say, hey, if you need this, take it off my car. I've got a backup part, or I've got spares, or ring this guy, or whatever it was. We had so much support and so much help to get the car back out there and get going again.
You started off sort of the week getting engaged, and you then ended it with a Mustang that's looking very second-hand.
Oh yeah, it's always racing. This track's real fast, and hey, if you muck up a little bit, it hurts a little bit. But yeah, we'll get the Mustang all fixed, and we'll be back next season. So I'll see you all next season.
Tell me, who are we going for? Is it Team Cole or is it Team ATJ?
Well, we can't say Cole because isn't he in a V car and we're Demon?
Oh,
Well done. So you're going for Tom then, aren't you?
I'm going for Tom.
Are you going for Tom?
I'll go for Tom.
And we're going for Demon. Don't point there, sorry. All right, well, you know what? Yeah, come back to me.
Great stuff from Steve in pit lane. Time now to check out the highlights from round 5, the grand final of the D1NZ Pro Sport Restricted Class.
Taking out pole position for the weekend was Geordie Cole in the Weir Electrical FCRX7, topping qualifying and battling through to the top 8 against Michael Thorley.
Thorley coming on strong this season in a refreshed car, fighting his way into the main battles. Thorley would put his R34 C33 Laurel through to the semi-finals.
We're through to 1 and 2 against the championships on the line, so hopefully I can make the Femme Fatale C33 proud and get that top step.
Callum Neeson was another enjoying good form at Pukekohe, a brand new car battling through to the top 8 against Neil Wormsley. Neeson grabbing the win in his first ever semi-final.
On the flip side of the battle tree, Ben Jenkins and the Brian Roberts towing Nissan S13 performing well on his home track, going OMT in the top 8 against Northland's Scott Dinsdale. Jenkins coming through with victory into the top 4.
Well, the final slot in the semi-finals was all about the Pro Sport Championship title fight. Series leader Bruce Tannock qualifying well down the field in 14th place. A great battle with Ian McSheen and the iconic Rotang Datsun, putting him through to the top 16.
Whangare's Liam Burke in the privateer Nissan S13 would cause an upset, knocking out Bruce Tannock for a spot in the top 8.
Well, Liam would line up against another title contender for a shot at the semi-finals. Cody Pullenbury pushing the limits, both drivers spearing off the track with huge contact.
It would be a win for Liam Burke into the semi-finals, but unfortunately that would be the end of his Pukekohe assault. The LPB Drift S13 taken out of action after sustaining damage to the roll cage.
Well, this meant third place was automatically up for grabs in the battle between Michael Thorley and Callum Neeson. Neeson unable to take out the Femme Fatale C33 Laurel, Michael Thorley through to the final.
With Liam out of action, Ben Jenkins was automatically through to the final. Michael Thorley unable to top the Brian Roberts towing Nissan S13. Ben Jenkins taking home the round win for the D1NZ Pro Sport Grand Final.
I just had a dream run. Little SR was on form. Got rid of our issues from Hampton, and now we're real happy with it. Qualified strong, and it was battling strong, so we went really well. Made it through to the top final with my mate Michael Thorley. So it was pretty cool, man. We had a good battle. Got right on his door, left some marks in his wheels.
Well done, Ben Jenkins, our round 5 winner here at Pukekohe. But in terms of the series points race, it's none other than Bruce Tannock in the Achilles Radials Nissan S13 grabbing the victory. Cody Pullenbury coming home in second place, and a great drive from Michael Thorley this season to move up the ladder and secure third place for the 2017 series.
Bruce Tannock, a mammoth season for you, taking out the Pro Sport Championship.
Yeah, really happy with that. All along we kind of planned to use it as basically a gain of some track time and get some experience, and I think it's helped my driving a lot this year. Made a few FUBARs in the pro class, but ended up with a couple of podiums last round, so I think I'm on track next year to maybe take it to some of the top guys, and that was the whole idea. All my sponsors on board, Achilles, Work Wheels, Megan Turbo. Can't thank everyone enough. It's been an awesome year.
Well, fantastic action from our Pro Sport Drift Series. If you want to learn more about getting involved in the sport, do check out D1NZ.com for more series info.
Well, part of the fun for our drivers this weekend was the Mimico Cabalco 200 kph Challenge. The fastest entry speed into Turn 1 sweeper awarded to former New Zealand champion Darren Kelly in the Nissan R35 GTR, setting a speed of 205 kilometres an hour.
Darren Kelly earning himself $500 for the after-party bar tab thanks to Cabalco, the fastest man at the D1NZ Grand Final.
And that sets us up for the top 16. Time now to run through the highlights as we battle down to our top 8 drivers.
First out of the chute was Dan Mulhouse and Joel Patterson, two wild drivers pushing the limits. Joel Patterson giving Fanger Dan a run for his money.
Well, it was a wheel off for Patterson in the first pass, but Fanger Dan could not bring things together in the chase run. A huge upset victory for the Vehicle Imports Direct R32 Skyline.
Championship contenders Tom Marshall and Dave Steedman battling for a place against Joel Patterson. Tom Marshall applying the pressure to the Mimico S14, a win for the Toyotas Galore GT86.
To the high horsepower turbos, Bruce Tannock couldn't fend off a strong drive from Dane and Templeman. The Pace Pulse E46 BMW grabbing a win into the top 8.
Jaron Olive Corona pushing wide in his battle against Ben Wilkinson. It was carnage at the transition. Ben Wilkinson with nowhere to go. Fiberglass in the air, Ben Wilkinson grabbing victory in the package save Nissan S50.
Series leader Cole Armstrong was a man on a mission. A fast lap over Jerry Zoo in the top 16, victory into the top 8 for the V-Energy 250 GT.
Troy Jenkins and Adam Davies matched up. It was a mistake for Davies in the Mimico 180 SX, a win for the Brian Roberts Towing Nissan S15.
A big entry for the People's Champion Nico Reed in the Evergreen Tyres Nissan S15. Drew Donovan trying to close the gap in the chase. It wasn't enough for the Milwaukee Sylvia. Nico Reed through to the top 8.
The final battle of the top 16 would see another giant knocked out early. First it was Fanger Dan. This time it's Darren Kelly, the former champ, getting it all wrong in the chase. The Nissan GDR knocked out by Team ATJ's Joe Marshall and the Frankenstein's Nissan S13.
And that is how they line up for the top 8 on next week's show. Do join us as we bring full coverage of the top 8 as we battle to the podium. It's the D1NZ Grand Final from Pukekohe Park Raceway.